Wash my hair. I don't know. I'm on your shirt.
That's
The soap shirt.
didn't wash.
What?
That didn't.
Oh, I thought that wasn't what the wheel said. Like that's not what the wheel said.
I just meant
It's
that,
what-
that wasn't wash. You didn't actually
sure?
wash. I mean, you rubbed. You rubbed. Does it feel better?
I really thought that you were saying it's not on the wheel, so it threw me. It's over. Welcome to Good Mythical More.
That was a good one. Are they all?
I'm looking at it like something's gonna change.
That's you're like,
I was like,
and then you were like,
I really. When you were like,
yeah, I thought he said wash my hair. That's what I'm doing. I'm rubbing my hair on his head. I could have sworn that was washing.
Welcome to Good Mythical More. We're out of that pie, but I will go back for some of that peanut butter Oreo crusted.
I'll tell you one
goodness.
thing. Their pies
Potato chips
were actually really good. And one of the things that we didn't even show was their savory pies. Did you get a load of one of them?
You know what? I was gonna buy one of those
They had breakfast.
pot pies, and then we left in
They
such
had
a
like
hurry.
breakfast pies that were savory. They had pot pies that were savory. Chicken pot pies. Anyway, you should go there.
So I teased to the fact that we are going to tell you the story of how we kept warm on a very cold night on a recent camping excursion that we had. So
This is going to get a
We should tell 'em.
little intimate. Actually, it's not. We were in separate tents. So you may remember the last time we went camping and we told a story. I'm sure we told it on Good Mythical More.
I believe we did, yeah.
Where the system is when we go camping with our children, the older boys are with me and the younger boys are with you. Lily elects
'cause-
to not go, just so you know. It isn't that we don't include her, but she's just
yeah.
like, y'all are going off-roading. I'm not interested. I'm going to hang out with mom and we're going to do cool stuff.
Yeah, we're hanging out by the fire, but the kids want to go to sleep, but they want to like tell their little tent stories.
Right, and we put the younger kids with you because Lando and Shepard are
youngest.
the most likely to have like some kind of outburst. Lando is the most likely, so that he needs to be with Daddy. Shepard wants to be with Lando. Lincoln and Locke
Right.
want to be together.
Right, and the last story we told was when Lincoln woke up in the middle of the night in your tent and vomited
Into the door, and I had to clean it up, and I didn't wake
because he
Link
couldn't
up.
get the tent open, so he just vomited.
Yeah, link in the
down.
description for that episode. But this time,
And you graciously did not wake me up
Yeah.
because you knew that I would be in such a stupor that I wouldn't be able to help anyway.
right. So
And-
that story is told in great detail at another time. So,
But you took
this
the
time-
risk.
Well, no, but you remember while we were at the fire, I had a talk with Lincoln. I said, Lincoln, if you have to vomit tonight, I want you to make it out of the tent. I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but if you feel like you have to vomit, don't be bashful. Get out of the tent. Okay? I don't.
He was
want
like,
you-
I couldn't get the zipper. It's not totally
Or-
something
or-
I would have done.
Or wake me up and I will assist. As soon as you feel the smallest urge, wake me up and I will assist. I will push you out of the tent.
And
You can vomit all you want to.
And I will say that I had him on some nausea medicine this time.
We actually had several kids on that. Locke and Shepard were on that.
Right. We went to Anza Borrego, which is like down in like the
And Zaborrego.
Anza Borrego.
East of San Diego.
A southern desert, but, depending on where you are, it could be like 10 to 15 miles from the Mexican border.
We got very close to Mexico. Thought about going, but
Pretty
didn't.
cool. Lots of desolate dust.
Lots of things to do down there, but it also got very cold at night. I would say it got down to 25 degrees. Now,
Yeah.
I thought I was prepared for this. I had a 20-degree bag, which that alone should take care of it, right? 20-degree bag.
They call it that for a reason.
And, but I also had a thermal liner inside I get cold. I had a thermal liner inside that sleeping bag that was supposed to take it down to 15 more degrees, right? Well, actually, I had a 30-degree bag with a 15-degree liner, so that's down to 15 degrees. That should be good. And then I had thermal underwear on inside that. I was like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to feel warm. So I get in my sleeping bag, and at first I'm like, oh, I am warm. This is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Mummy bag, over the head, just my eyes showing.
Well, let me say that I had a 20-degree bag, and like I went out and bought Expedition Strength. It literally said Expedition level on the thermal
It's like
underwear
for climbing Mount
that
Everest.
I bought for me and all the boys.
And the only reason I didn't get it
I'm
is
cold
because
natured, man.
the only reason I didn't get it is because you ended up buying sizes that were right for my kids, and then so long story. But when I was there, I was picking out. First of all, trying thermal underwear on in the store outside is an interesting thing to do, which I did because I'm like, it was actually
Like pants? You were trying on thermal pants in front of everybody?
I was holding the pants up to my waist to see how big they would be, and then I was putting on the shirt.
But
Got down to my T-shirt and put the shirt on. And the guy was like, "Can I help you?" I was like, "No, I'm doing fine."
I mean, I got into my sleeping bag, and it's like, that's how much of a hole I had. And then there was so much cold air coming through that hole that then I pushed it up here to where it's like...
The hair.
I was like breathing like I needed like a snorkel.
But you did have the Expedition stuff. The only reason I didn't have it is because in order to get the pants that were long enough, it was a 46 waist. and it was not, there was no drawstring and it wasn't stretchy. So I was like, I'm a big dude, but I'm not a 46 waist.
You could have put the sleeping bag on and then put the pants on over the sleeping bag.
So I got the next level down, which were just called warmer.
Oh,
Warmer.
not a good idea.
Not warm enough, let me tell you that.
That's a fail.
Because
waiting to
2
happen.
hours into sleeping, I woke up and I was like, I am cold. I am really cold. And I was like, but I got my down heavy coat. I'm going to put that on. So I put that on, and then I'm kind of just laying there trying to go back to sleep. I'm like, I'm still a little uncomfortably cold. And then I kind of noticed that Lincoln is sort of jostling a little bit, sort of moving around. I'm like, uh-oh, here it goes, about to blow. And then all of a sudden, he says, "What is that?" And I'm like, Lincoln? Lincoln. And I look over there, and I can see, first of all, it was a full moon. It was like totally bright. I can see he's still asleep, and he's doing exactly what his dad used to do. And he's talking in his sleep, and still does.
Yeah. I talked in my sleep 2 nights ago, and Christy said, "You were talking in your sleep last night." And you were like, "It's probably not anything personal."
I don't know what you were thinking about.
It's probably not personal.
So at first I thought that there was something in the tent that Lincoln legitimately didn't know what it was. But no, it was just some sort of dream.
He was in a stupor.
I was
asleep,
like, he's asleep, he seems fine. But then I realized that Locke is awake. And I'm like, Locke, you cold? He was like, yeah. And then I was like, me too. I've got all my clothes on. I'm in this sleeping bag. I've got the liner on.
Help me, son. It's like, what?
And then I realized that I had hand warmers. The hand warmers were in my tent.
I totally forgotten you had bought those. It's
Just the kind that you take out, and once they're exposed to air, they get hot.
Yeah.
Before the night was over, I had 6 of those in my sleeping bag.
Did that work?
Oh, yeah. First, I just took 2 and put them in there, and I was like, what part of my body should I put these on? Because they're just in my sleeping bag.
The cold parts, man.
And I kind of put them down on my stomach. Because I was like,
Core.
In the middle of the body is where they need to be.
All the blood. It's like the intersection of the blood.
And they got hot. They got hot, but I was like, I could use more of these. And I was like, I'm like cutting them open and throwing them in. I throw a couple in Locke's bag.
You didn't throw any in my kid's bag, huh?
Because he was totally asleep talking to himself. It's like, he's fine. I'm not going to go over there. I don't want to upset the apple cart, and he'll end up throwing up.
If you threw one in his bag, he probably would have been like, "What is that?"
Exactly. So I had 6 of these in my bag, and I finally, probably like 3 a.m., I was finally warm enough.
Oh, man.
And I made it through the night. And those things, they're warm for 10 hours. But how did the kids do? And how did you do in your tent?
I don't know. I slept. I don't know how your kid did.
You didn't wake up though.
I got a little cold, but not cold enough to hear anyone.
You had a better bag, and you had the super thermals on.
I woke up once and like I looked over there to make sure that they weren't like being eaten by a coyote or something, and they were like way down in the bottom of their sleeping bags. You couldn't see anything.
When I went to wake up Shepherd, it was like just a lump at the foot of the sleeping bag.
Like a curled up lump.
And I like lifted it up, and I like see him look. He's like looking at me. I'm like, what? You're awake? And then I was like, Shepherd, how'd you sleep? He was like, good. I was like, okay.
Yeah, Lando didn't say a word either, but they got on the expedition.
The reason they had gone all the way down is because we we
Had 'em
camped
on a hill.
on a slope. So I was also on the same slope in a different part in my tent, and I was sliding down the whole night. But when in the morning, Locke was like we were laying next to each other, me, Locke, and Lincoln, heads on top of the hill, feet on the bottom of the hill. Locke had worked himself down to the bottom of the tent, 90 degrees from everybody else, just at our feet, sideways. And then Lincoln was in the fetal position, all the way covered up at the bottom of his sleeping bag. So we learned some lessons.
We made it, though. We made it. Man. Expedition underwear. Check that out.
You need that.